and welcome everyone. Super excited in this video. I'm going to go a little bit of more detail into Amsterdam, some tips, some different things about the city, as well as how to pair it with your travels. I also go into our bonus city that will be featuring this month as well, which I'm super excited about. It's actually a city that surprised me, but it's fabulous. So, to start us off, my name is Taishita. I am the founder and CEO of Luxury Travels by Dreamy Designer Events. We specialize in all elite travel worldwide, as well as corporate retreat events and conference management. Amsterdam is an amazing city. There's a lot of different ways you can experience it and do it. To kind of start off, there's 3 ways that I typically recommend for traveling to Amsterdam. It not only helps break up your European trip, but it also kind of gives you a chance to experience it without it feeling like you're there too long and there's not a ton to do. So the first way that I love pairing it is if you already have like a European journey and you want to experience different countries, but you're like, I know there's places around. What's the best way to do it? This is a really nice way to see Amsterdam. So I'll give you an example. Say, for example, if you're in France, you can take a train over to Amsterdam. Or even if you're in a variety of other countries, you can easily do that. Some of the trains are shorter, other ones are longer, but it's nice because you get a chance to experience like the countryside of the different countries that you're traveling through. I always kind of tell people that depending on where you're going, sometimes it's nice to do the train because it's a lot hassle-free than doing the flights or even a hopper flight. Plus, it gives you like an added experience that you typically may not have got otherwise. The second way that is really nice is if you do like a guided tour. So I'll explain. So a guided tour, they have a few different variations. We host some each do throughout the year that go to different countries. You get to experience it, but they also do have escorted guided tours, which actually go from country to country or city to city. And this basically gives you the chance to, they have ones that could be anywhere from 6 days, 2 weeks, and then even have ones that are longer as well. This kind of gives you a sample and a taste of the different cities and the countries that you're going to. So you can be like, oh, I get a chance to experience 5 countries in a matter of 2 weeks. And you get a flavor and a taste. So you'll have tours. Sometimes these escorted tours will also have some of your meals included. So you kind of can get the best of both worlds, but you also don't have to worry about the hassle of figuring out the logistics behind how do I get from one place to the other. So a lot of our clients, they'll have where you'll have your agenda and you'll have your meeting point. When you get there, you're with, normally depending on the company, it varies from size. So to kind of give you an idea, when you go on a lot of these different escorted guided tours, most of them will be bigger in size. And when I say bigger in size, you're probably looking at 25 to 40 people, depending on if it's a sold out guided tour, which type of company, things of that manner. They do have a handful of them smaller ones, which would be under that number, but most of them will be on the bigger side. So you'll normally be either going by motor coach. Some of them may have rail, like the train in between it, but most of them will be like motor coach. You'll have stops in between. They kind of make it where it's not as inconvenient, but we still try to make sure that you're going to be able to have an experience versus feeling like, you're in a car or a bus for the whole entire time and you're missing out on so much. The third way, which is also a really nice way, especially depending on whether people have been to Europe, if it's your first time, if you're like a repeat person who's gone back multiple times, just want to see it in different ways. The third one is if you do it either before or after a river cruise. So they have a lot of river cruises that may start and end in different parts of Europe. And some of them will be stopping off. They can stop off in Amsterdam, close by. The river cruises are really nice because they go to a lot of the smaller cities that you can't necessarily get to by the ocean cruises, which are typically the bigger ones. And you get a little bit more of a local feel for your experience. So you get a chance to really like take in where you are. You'll have full days in most of them for the river cruises. And by doing this, you'll also have at pretty much at your fingertips so many different ways to actually be able to experience it. So sometimes you can go in a couple of days earlier, experience Amsterdam, and then meet up to wherever your river cruise starts. Or on the end, you can also end off with Amsterdam. This just depends on how the river cruise falls. So sometimes when we're looking at these itineraries for our clients, or even if it's a group, we can cater it to what you're looking for, but also make sure that, you know, no time is wasted or anything of that manner once you're there. So those are just a few ways that I and personally feel that's the best way to experience the city. There's an array of different variations you can easily do, but just a few of them to throw out. Another thing that I always tell people, so for Amsterdam, it is in Europe, so euros is your main source of currency. So whether you exchange it ahead of time, which depending on where you're coming from, I normally, if people are coming from the US, I normally say it's a lot better to try to exchange it in advance here. And definitely before you get to the airport. Normally the airport does have the highest conversion in terms of, you know, moving the money over, but just it gives you some options, and also to plan ahead. You can always normally, while you're there, whether it's at the hotel or a local, you know, ATM or something like that, you can always try and get more money while you're there. But I always say it's always good to go in with it, just in case you're at a market or something and you want to use the cash, or if it's a small vendor and they only do take it, you don't have to like be, you know, and just, you know, inconvenience or anything of that manner. So in terms of Amsterdam itself, I Amsterdam is an amazing city. It's not probably a destination that I would recommend going just for, like, depending on obviously where you're coming from too, but like a lot of our clients coming from over here from the States, or even a relatively close location. I probably wouldn't say just to go to Amsterdam. I feel like Amsterdam is a great city that you can, if you want to do more of like experience Europe and more on the ground without having to like either do like an escorted guided tour or do a cruise, then I would always recommend maybe pairing it with another city, because you get a chance to really experience it. Plus, it's extremely easy to take the trains around itself. And also a side note with that as well, as I'm thinking about it, is depending on whether you're starting or ending, Amsterdam is also a major hub for the airport. So you'll have a higher chance of either starting or ending there and get a better flight option. So that's also a good thing to kind of consider in terms of the logistics. However, itself, depending on the time of year you want to travel. So personally, so when we went, it was later in the year. So it was closer to like that November, December timeframe. So it was nice of things that, you know, if you wanted to go to like walk around, take a canal, things of that manner, it is definitely cold. And you're gonna get a lot more cloudy feel. It's probably more if you want to go for the festivities. So if you want to go for those holiday markets, you want to go because of the special occasion you're going for. If you're trying to go for the vibe or the feel of scenic and doing a lot of things, whether it's hiking outside, exploring, things of that manner, I probably would recommend go more into like spring. So for Amsterdam, spring time frame, and it's not 100% like typically depending on when our clients go, we'll have to estimate it a little bit. But if you want to go so you can experience some of the stuff in the city of Amsterdam, but also more like countryside itself, they're really known, especially within the Netherlands. They have a ton of beautiful like windmills, and then they also have their tulip season, which is really big. So this is something where you're definitely looking at more in the spring, where you ever see like those pictures where it's like different colored tulips, from the yellow, pink, purple, all of that. That's the feel that you're going for. So you'll get an amazing experience from that closer to the spring. If you want to go for like better weather time, I would probably say spring, maybe early summer. Definitely midsummer or any holidays. You're going to get more crowds, so you may get better weather, but you're also going to have a little bit more congested. And because of how the city of Amsterdam is, a lot of it is walking, whether it's over the bridge, whether it's right by where the canals is. So when it gets a lot of people, you can definitely feel that. So that's why timing is everything. Obviously, if you have to go a certain time, because whether it's kids are out, teachers, or just the way it works with your job or when you want to go, we could easily work with you to try to figure out what makes the most sense. But definitely, just because of how everything's laid out, when it can get crowded there, it's crowded. So, and then even when you're walking, and most of it is walking by canals, working over the like the cobble bridges, like all of those. So you can definitely feel it. And it could also, like, depending on how flexible you are with your trip, but it could also change like the mood. Like if it feels like it's taking longer to get to places, or you're dealing with more of an uptake of people and things of that manner, it could also interfere with that. Same thing as if you're trying to like add it on like pre or post and you're doing something that you already have planned, you may miss out or can't do as much if it's a lot of people. So that's just something just to consider. But aside from that, timing when you're looking to go is a really big part of it. Another thing I will actually mention is you don't, and I don't recommend it, but if you go there, you don't need a car. Please don't do it. Please don't. And I say this because majority of the people there bicycle. Bicycle is like your means to everywhere. And actually, from actually being there and seeing it, it's the easiest form of commuting that will get you from point A to point B, next to obviously walking. They do have some streets, and they do have things where you can actually drive, but because how narrow it is, and because of depending on where you're looking to go, it's definitely going to take a little bit time. It's going to take more time for it, but I wouldn't recommend renting a car, because also if you are trying to go more just walking around, sightseeing, things of that manner, and then you still have to figure out where you're going to be parking that car when you're not using it and things of that manner. So I definitely don't recommend it. They do have like Uber and things of that manner if you are somewhere that may be a little bit further out. But honestly, it's depending on where your hotel is, everything, a lot of things are within walking distance. If not, you can definitely get an Uber. It can drop you off as close as possible to where you're looking to go. But it takes the stress of like having a car, and 9 times out of 10, even if you have to park somewhere, it may be much farther than where you're looking to go. Or, just the ideal of it's definitely more of a bike friendly destination than a car one. So with that being said, I am super excited. Stay tuned for this month. We are going to show you a lot more about what Amsterdam has to offer. But I'm also very excited because I also am going to throw in a bonus city for this month. This city, actually, be real honest, I didn't really know what to expect when I traveled there. I've had hundreds clients that's been here. I organized a ton of different events, but going there for my own personal travel, where I wasn't there for an event or organizing or hosting something, was a completely different experience. But I'm actually gonna say I actually pretty much love the city. It's really nice. Not only the people are great, the culture, the food is amazing, the history, the charm, but also to how much that it has to offer is insane. And it feels like it's like a European city, but it's a very chill city, but it's also has so much that you can do, and just walking around is like, wow, like this is like, it's really nice. It's like I can enjoy it, see the sights, see the scenery, but enjoy everything about it. And that city is London. Yes. So excited. extremely excited for it. And I also am excited too because London's also a destination that we host our elite luxury retreats. That we have I think two or three of them for this year. That was already sold out, but we have launched the ones for next year. I will drop the links. I'll drop the links in this video, but also in the other ones. I think only one of them for next year is already sold out, and I think one or two of them may be a limited availability. But London is amazing. There's a few hotels that I love. The Charm, they are amazing with the tea. I'll be honest with you, I went there and I felt like I like tea, but I left there like, okay, tea is like my new favorite thing. um, but it's just everything that they embody. And on top of that, the cafes, the restaurants, what you can do in the city, but also there are so many different day trips you can do outside of it. Biggest thing with London, which I kind of tell everybody about, especially if you're pairing it with a different city. So say, for example, if you're doing London and Paris, which is also a very big popular combination of cities to pair together, but also in reality, you could also do London by itself too easily. But London is, in terms of currency, their currency is pounds. So I always tell people that too, because just to make sure that even if you're converting it prior and you're going to another city that may use the euros, you split it accordingly, or you'll I should say judge it based off of what you're going to be doing there. But definitely London is pounds. The biggest thing about London is timing. Timing is everything. So obviously most people know a lot of times the city, it's cloudy. It could be rainy depending on the time of the year, but it does intermittent rain most of the year. However, best time in terms to kind of get it where you can get the best weather, you may still get some rain here, here or there. That's just the city itself. Would be more like summertime, so looking at more like that June through early September. That one, if you want to get best weather, as best as possible weather, as well as pricing, definitely recommend more like early to mid-June and probably early September. Aside from that, the next best time that you can also get, and you can also still do some outdoorsy things, would be spring. So you're looking at like April and May. It can still get a little bit cooler, so you still need like a jacket or something like that. But in terms of the outdoors and the scenic and things in that manner, you can still take advantage of it with also avoiding a lot of the large crowds that typically go there around midsummer. London itself, like I said, is going to be so much. I'm so excited to go into it with you guys. So stay tuned for the rest of this month. I will be dropping videos for both Amsterdam and London, my top recommended hotels, top things to do in the city, and just some general information that you'll see about festivals, what it has to offer, some of the history behind it. So you can definitely stay tuned for all of the fun. I will also later in the month drop additional information for our elite luxury retreat that's being hosted in London for 2025. But I'm so excited. Like, Amsterdam's amazing. London is even more phenomenal. And I'm so excited to take this journey with you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. You'll be able to get all the most up-to-date information coming. And I look forward to talking with you guys soon. Bye.